What's good, y'all? It's your boy Russ, back at it again with another video. Today we're talking about the most underrated artists in 2019. Let's get it. As you can hear, I'm a little bit sick, so excuse my voice cracking, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, man, today we're talking about the most underrated artists of 2019. So I have my phone right here. Sometime last week, I put something on my Instagram story. I'm gonna put the visual up right here. I said, I need y'all's help with the vid. I said, who's the most over and underrated artist right now? Artist doesn't have to be mainstream, just wanted to see who y'all are rocking with. And this pretty much turned into more of a underrated artist in 2019 type of video because of the responses I was getting. I got more of, yo, like, I rock with this person heavy. Yo, I want to put you onto this person. So it kind of became more of an underrated artist video than underrated and overrated. So pretty much what I did for this video, I had y'all send me either songs or projects, so your favorite song, favorite project of the artist that y'all wanted to put me onto or say that they're underrated. So I put all of them in a playlist, and yeah, I just listened to it. I listened to it for like a week straight. A lot of the artists I did already know. Some of them I didn't know, or some of them I knew, but I just didn't listen to that much. And I would just listen to it in shuffle mode, or if it was a project, I would listen to them song by song. So pretty much how I'm gonna do this, because there is a lot of artists that y'all sent me, and there was a lot of songs. I think there was over 200 songs that I was sent, and even more that I couldn't include in this list. So pretty much what I did is I broke it down into a couple categories, and I'll try to put them on the screen somewhere. But out of all the artists, I broke them down into the trap category, because it was mostly rap, not all rap, the trap category, the lyrical category, and R&B. And then I also talk about how versatile each artist is and how relatable those artists are. I take that all into consideration when I think about who is underrated, who is already performing at a high level and has all the skill sets, and the only thing they're lacking is that mainstream push, or that type of notoriety that should come along with the quality of work that they're putting out. So let me just go through the artists real quick. So I got Lil TJ, Young Bands, Key, DaBaby, Ease, Yella Beezy, Mo3, Wretch 32, YBN Corday, my main man Dolla, Mick Jenkins, Saba, No Name, Westside Boogie, Taylor Bennett, Pink Sweats, and yeah, I think that rounds it off. So those are all the artists. But now let's pretty much break it down into where I think each artist belongs in their just subcategories, because it's kind of hard to rank artists when you're talking about why is someone underrated and why is this person not underrated. A lot of artists can be underrated in their own right, but they are also in different lanes, so you have to talk about that. So let's break it down for the first lane. Out of all those people that I named, the first lane I want to talk about is trap. So under the trap category, I have Lil TJ, Young Bands, Key, DaBaby, Ease, Yella Beezy, Mo3, Wretch 32, YBN Corday, and Dolla. So let's start off with Lil TJ. Lil TJ's a younger artist. I think he's about 18. This is his first studio album. When I say this is, I'll probably put up the little visual of the actual album, and it's called True to Myself. People say that he sounds like A Boogie. I do kind of see that a little bit, but I think that's mostly due to the fact that they're from the same place. They're both from the Bronx, and they're gonna have some similarities. So I don't want to fault him in saying that he's copying such and such, because he's really not. If you listen to his music enough, you'll know that he has his own style, and he has his own cadence, his own flow, and he's trying to do his own thing, especially with what he's talking about. Just sonically, you might kind of, automatically, that kind of sounds like a Boogie record. But if you do a little bit more research, you'll see that this kid, Lil TJ, man, he's trying to be unique in his own way, and that's evident if you just put in a little more time and effort and look at what he's really talking about. So I feel like certain artists like this, especially new artists, you have to let them grow on you a little bit and just put the time in and really think like, okay, let me give this a couple listens and then see how I'm feeling about him. The next person is Young Bands. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, bro. I don't really mess with bands like that, bro. I really think he's trash. To anybody that offends, I'm sorry, but I think he's trash, bro. It's just another generic trap rapper that the same content. But I mean, that song with X though, that song with X on his last album, Misunderstood, that was straight fire. Key was another artist that people sent me, and I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this as well. Key, it just didn't do it for me. He just didn't do it for me. But I probably have not listened to enough of his music. I've only listened to one album. It was at 777. He is unique though. That is something I can say. He's not cookie cutter at all. He is unique, which I love, and I look for that in artists, especially new artists. And I don't think he's new. I feel like he's been doing his thing. He's just kind of underground. So in that aspect, he is underrated because his fan base is behind him, but they feel like he deserves a bigger spotlight. And that's just yet to be seen, you know, especially with somebody like Lil TJ as well. He just started in the rap game, so I wouldn't necessarily say he's underrated as much as he's a newcomer. You know, he's new to the game. So he just has to continue to put out quality work and see where that gets you. The next person that people said was underrated in the trap category was DaBaby. You could say that DaBaby is underrated just because he is in the mainstream, but he might be a little fish in a big pond. You know what I mean? And he is another one of those up-and-comers. I feel like he's doing really well for himself. Despite people saying that he's underrated, I feel like he's doing really well for himself money-wise. We'll get into the music stuff later when he gets compared to other people in different categories. But in the trap category, that's the next artist that I had, DaBaby. Somebody else I had in the trap category from the Triple D is my boy Ease. Ease is a guy I was put on to by, I think, a couple of my homies, Riley and Johnny. So shout out to y'all. But Ease, he's a white boy rapper from Dallas. This dude goes hard. Individuality, A1. Unique, A1. I just like his style. I like people that have their own style. And I feel like that's what drew me to his music a lot. Just his style, his flow, his delivery, his sound. And I feel like he is well on his way. He's well on his way. It's just like when you just start anything, you just have to start from somewhere. And he has that fan base and he has the content. And I'll try to play as many of these artists' songs or some samples of the songs, as many as I can, but YouTube's been trying to, you know, get me out the way with these copyright strikes and whatnot. So we're going to try to finesse and see what I can do for y'all. But he's definitely an artist on this list that I feel like I had to put here because of the fact that not a lot of people know him. And he's actually trying. Despite what y'all might think, a lot of these rappers and artists don't try. They're just trying to get money. Some people are actually trying to make music, and that's the difference. So Ease is the next person on my trap category. Another rapper from Dallas, next one, YellowBeezy. I think YellowBeezy is one of the people that is in the rap game that you probably heard his name, especially if you're from Texas. But if you're not from Dallas or around people that listen to that type of music, you might not have even really gave him a second thought other than just hearing his Up One track or tracks that people just think of, oh, that's that Beezy, you know? But he actually has put out albums and mixtapes just like any other artist from the D that really is trying to make it out. Because in Dallas, bro, there's not really that many outlets or cosigns that you can really get. Like if you were in Atlanta or if you were in LA. Like, you really gotta build up your fan base, like, literally, like, your fan base, like, CDs type stuff. You gotta start with the local people to help put you on, and I feel like that is why he became what he became, because his local fan base, the D, was messing with him so hard that they propelled his career to that level because he was ready for that. That was always his goal, you know what I mean? And he just steadily put out more and more music. And with his last album that he put out, Back in Beezy, which I thought was really great, I would say it's really industry. I feel like the label had a lot of input into that album, just by the song selection and different things like that. But he's on tour with Chris Brown right now, and I feel like that's a big step in his career. And I feel like that's really gonna be one of the talking points when he's like on a radio show or on Sway 3 years from now. And they're like, yeah, I remember when Chris Brown first took me on tour. Like, he was the first person to like really, you know, like, give me a chance type stuff. So Beezy definitely on this list. The next person in the trap category is Wretch32. A lot of y'all from the US probably don't even know who Wretch is. My boy Can from the UK. I used to hoop with Can. Shout out to you, bro. We make music together. That's my brother. But he put me on a Wretch, and pretty much, in my opinion, Wretch kind of reminds me of like K Dot in the U.S. just based off his delivery. Like, there's certain rappers that can rap, and there's certain rappers that can wrap it up and make it look pretty. And that's really what Wretch does with his delivery, because he speaks eloquently, you know, and like pronounces things crispy and still is giving you bars that are hard. You know what I'm saying? So Wretch is really versatile, which I'll talk about later. When we start moving away from these three big categories and going down into the people that are really like that. You know what I mean? That really like that and should be respected as such. But Wretch is definitely on this list for underrated, and I have him under the trap category as well. The next artist under the trap category is the young boy, Cordae. YBN Cordae. Cordae, I've been singing Cordae's praises since he came out with Lost Boy. He really won me over and surprised me with this project because I did not know he was like that. In our last videos in the podcast, we were talking about YBN's album, and it did for me more than a lot of the other albums that were coming out at that time did for me. One of the people who came out with the album the same week that he did was Chance. Chance really let me down. YBN really surprised me, and I feel like YBN has been surprising people. He's performed with Anderson .Paak on like night shows and all this other stuff. Like he said in multiple interviews that he's trying to make music. He's trying to be a musician. He's making that known. He doesn't want to just be a rapper. He wants to be a musician. So the musicality and just his mindset of how he's going to approach the music business and the music industry is different than just someone that's just trying to rap. And that comes out in his music as well, because he's really intentional about how he tries to come off. So Cordae definitely is one of the people that's on this list. And the last one in the trap category has to be my boy, Dolla. Ty Dolla, you already know what I think about Ty. He's the hook god. He's been holding R&B down for this past like 3 years. Have him on a hook, your song's going #1. He can sing, he can rap, super versatile. So I had to put Ty on here. I don't really need to say too much about Ty. I'll get into it later. So the next category I have is lyrical. So certain rappers from the trap category can be in the lyrical category, but there's going to be certain artists in here that you haven't heard yet from the trap category. So starting with the lyrical category, I have Wretch 32 back in this category. So now we're moving out of just the regular trap to lyrical, and now you're seeing some artists can do both and some can't do both. Wretch is definitely someone that can do both. If you listen to his music, and I'll put up on the screen some of his projects and some songs that I feel like you should check out. I also have all these songs in an Apple Music playlist, Reach the People playlist, which I'll link down below. Y'all can go listen to all these songs of the different artists, and they'll give you a big, like a good snapshot of the artist's strengths and what I feel like are their best work. But Wretch is definitely a storyteller, definitely. He's a wordsmith, he's great with words, elegant, just, you know, how he comes across on the track is really like flawless, but it's still hard though. Next person on here is Ease. I feel like he's a trap rapper, but he does try to put an emphasis on his lyrics. Ease does try to put an emphasis on his lyrics. No matter what he's talking about, he tries to not sound the same, and I feel like you can tell when someone's trying to be different or being unique, and I feel like that really shines out in his music. Next rapper I have on this lyrical list is a lot of y'all's favorite, Mick Jenkins. Mick Jenkins is definitely a lyrical rapper. I would say he's not really a trap rapper. Mick Jenkins is also an artist. I feel like he's more of an artist than he is just rapper. There's a lot of musicality that goes behind and goes into the music that he puts out. And I feel like that is what has made fans attach themselves to him so much, because they see, oh, this guy, you know, he's different. And we like that. Yeah, Mick Jenkins, he's definitely lyrical. Next person I got on this list, my main man, Saba. Man, Saba. Shout out to Riley first off, because he put me on to Saba. But Saba, that's my guy, honestly. That's my guy. I can't lie. Saba is like that. Lyrics there, storytelling there, bars there, style there, individuality there, everything there. And I don't mean to be a stan, but I'm just saying what I've seen and what I've heard. And this dude is young too. So I love to see that. And I'll go more in depth into some of these artists as they make it through the different rungs of, you know, differentiating where they belong. But for now, I'm just going to say Saba, he's like that, you know. Next person on this list, another person I'm like a little bit stan over, you know, No Name. That's the queen right there. No Name from Chicago, Saba from Chicago, Kanye from Chicago. You know, I've always said a lot of the best artists come from either Chicago or New York, and I feel like that's just a product of their environment. But it's also crazy to see the individuality from these artists. Like lyrically, a lot of dudes cannot hang with her, bro. The rap game is made up of mostly males. So she's already ahead of all these guys. So what does that put her when she's ranked against the girls? Above them. Exactly. She's the queen. She's the queen of the rap game right now, in my opinion. I mean, say what you want. Cardi, I mean, ghostwriters, bro. We don't have to get into that. No Name definitely on this list. Cordae, Cordae for sure. I put Cordae under Lyrical because he does try to put an emphasis into his lyrics, and he tries to be not just like you know, Almighty J, not just like Namir. You know, I'm not trying to call y'all out, bro, but he really is the only one in YBN that is relevant. Period. The next person in this lyrical category is a new artist that I haven't mentioned yet, is Westside Boogie. Not a Boogie with the hoodie, Westside Boogie. This dude Boogie is lyrical for sure. This dude Boogie is so funny. Like, if you listen to his music, you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to play some of it, but Boogie, just the way he raps and sings and everything like that, it has like a little tint of humor in it, and that's what I like about Boogie. He also is super relatable because how he's talking and what he's talking about, the content of what he's talking about is like you. It's so you. Just like when you listen to a Drake track, you just feel like, oh no, that's me. He's talking about me. Boogie's one of those same type of dudes, and he can still do it with some swag. He's from Cali, so you know he got that little Cali little accent and all that, but he's clean. I really, really mess with Boogie. Yeah. The next person on my lyrical list is Taylor Bennett. Taylor is one of those guys that I feel like is definitely a sleeper, but he does have a core fan base. Taylor Bennett is highly talented. I would say he's super lyrical as well. Introspective type dude, super smart dude, so you can just see that and hear that in his music. It really is unique, and it's just like, that's just Taylor's swag. That's Taylor's, you know, that's just Taylor's, how Taylor does it. That's how Taylor gets down. And I've come to love his music over the years after I was put on to Taylor, I think in 2016 by my boy River. And yeah, nothing but praise from me to Taylor. So now that we've got done the trap category and lyrical category, which had some overlap, now we're gonna move to the third major subcategory, which is R&B, and there's only a few of them that can really do that. And then we're gonna talk about who out of all those do I feel like is the most underrated in their category, and then who do I feel like is the most underrated out of all. So R&B starting off, I gotta put Dolla at the top. Dolla has been doing it for R&B mainstream wise more than a lot of other people in this list. So by default, I have to put him on there. But unlike some of them, Ty can do the trap and R&B. He can rap and sing. And that plays a big part into being versatile and being valued. So artists are going to get Ty for their hook. And it's not just sing this, he could rap it too. He could do his own ad-libs, you know what I'm saying? Just like I feel like they're in two different lanes, but Kid Cudi just sonically, like, you could put him on a track and he could either sing, rap, do whatever you want, just hum on the track. And we'll take it to another level, just like Ty. And I feel like Ty definitely has that impact on the track. Next person on the R&B list is Westside Boogie. Westside Boogie can really hold it down for the R&B category as well as the rap category because of how versatile he is. He doesn't just limit himself to, let me just spit straight bars, or let me be so serious. Let me just, you know, have fun with this thing. Let me sing a little bit, let me rap a little bit, and let me make some music. You know, that's what music is really about. Trying to bring in different elements and different textures to make a final product that makes people feel something. So Boogie for sure. Another person that has to be on this R&B list is No Name. No Name can for sure hold it down on the rap end, and she can for sure hold it down on the R&B because of the musicality that she brings. She loves to use like a lot of percussion, live elements in her music, and not just rap over the trap beats. That's why some of the trap rappers are in this category by default, because they only rap over trap beats or they only talk about trap things. But No Name is different. She doesn't only talk about the introspective, how she feels about life. She talks about the plight of, let's say, black women, because she is one, or she talks about the plight of people living in Chicago or young people. So she has a lot that people can connect to her with, and I feel like that is what makes her so versatile. You can't always limit yourself to one, one lane. Sometimes you gotta cross lanes. Sometimes you gotta sing. Sometimes you gotta do this to get the message across, to make people feel or convey the feeling that you're trying to get out there through your music. So No Name for sure. Another person in this R&B category that deserves to be on here is Pink Sweats. Pink Sweats I got put onto, I think, a couple months back, and I made a playlist from like some of his certain albums and projects and all that, and all I can say about this dude is he's nice. He's nice. He's like that. R&B wise, he's like that. Like the singing, he's like that. What he's talking about, he's like that. Like he's holding it down for R&B. Like he's like that. That's all I need to say. And the last person I think needs to be in this R&B list is Daniel Cesar. Another person that's just like that. Daniel Cesar, if you listen to some of his music, like, you can just tell that the status quo of just not putting a lot of time into what you're writing, like, it's not affecting them. They're trying to put some time into what they're doing and put some time into what they're saying so it can come out as a quality product. And you can tell that the songs and the projects hold more value, and they will hold more value over time, other than artists just putting out filler tracks after filler tracks after filler singles and songs that are trash. So Daniel Cesar, I'm rocking with you, bro. Those are the three subcategories. Yeah, so now we're gonna move from those big ones to a smaller version of those, and I'm just gonna go in and say the people's name and not really break down why I think they belong in here, and then I'll start breaking down when it gets to the end of the video. So in the trap category, the people that I feel like are most underrated out of all the trap rappers that I named would have to be Lil TJ, YB and Cordae, Ease, Yella Beezy, and Wretch 32. The people that I think that are the most underrated in the lyrical category would have to be Saba, No Name, Wretch, Mick Jenkins, Westside Boogie, and Cordae. The people that I feel like are the most underrated in R&B have to be Dolla $, Pink Sweats, Daniel Cesar, No Name, Wretch, and Westside Boogie. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Who are really the most underrated artists out of all these people? And I feel like that distinction comes from versatility and relatability and skill set. Some of these artists are good at what they do, but they're not good at what they don't do. That's not an indictment against them. They just don't do that. But certain artists do. All these other artists fit into different categories of underrated. But let's just break it down into smaller subcategories. The most versatile artists on my list, Dolla $, and Westside Boogie. These two dudes can sing and rap. And Ty, where he makes up for in versatility, he lacks in relatability, because not everyone can relate to what he's saying. But he is versatile musically. Westside Boogie is super versatile because he can do the singing and rapping too. But where Ty lacks, he shines. Westside, one of his strengths is relatability, because I feel like he's really relatable to a lot of people. And that brings me to relatability. On that list, I got Saba, Westside Boogie, YB and Cordae, and No Name. I know some people are going to be mad that I did not put Mick Jenkins in the relatability, but just to me, I feel like Mick Jenkins to me is just like Frank. Although I would never compare the two. Let's just make this comparison. Frank is one of those people that if you're a fan of him as an artist, you will love his music and you will find value in everything about his music. and you'll be able to relate to it. Mick Jenkins, I find value in his music and I can relate to it, but I can see why a lot of people don't relate to him as much as they would relate to someone else just because of his style, which is not even a bad thing. It's just, as I went through these rankings, I felt as though other artists were more relatable than Mick Jenkins. And I feel like that's probably going to be one of the most controversial things about this video, is because I like Mick Jenkins, but I do feel like overall he's not as relatable as a lot of these other dudes are and women are if you actually listen to their music. All of their music, like back to back to back to back to back, you know, like I did, just sonically, not even looking at whose name it is, just listening to it. So yeah, as you can see, this is where Mick Jenkins fell off from this list. I have to leave Ty off from relatability, but this is relatability and versatility. Now we're going to the people that I just feel like flat out are the most underrated artists out of all the artists that y'all sent me. The most underrated artists are, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 people, and I'm gonna choose 1 or 2 or a couple. I couldn't really narrow it down to who is the most underrated because so much goes into that. But the most underrated out of all the original people I named would have to be, I got Saba, Dolla, No Name, Wretch 32, Westside Boogie, and YB and Cordae. Cordae, I would say Cordae is definitely the most underrated new artist. Dolla is the most underrated versatile artist in the music industry right now. Westside Boogie is also an artist that is underrated for his versatility. He's also mainstream, but he's just underrated because people are not looking at him, well, other than his fans, are not appreciating the music that he's put out, which is great, great music, and he's super versatile. Wretch, let's talk about Wretch. Wretch is definitely an underrated rapper for sure, and I just feel like that just comes with him expanding his fan base to the US, and as that happens, he will for sure be looked at as more of a big dog. How he is looked at home, I feel like people will start to look at him like that in the US, and it's much deserved because his music is A1, and a lot of artists in the US couldn't even come close to the type of quality content that he's putting out in his music. Just listen to it, you understand. And the 2 other artists that I have underrated are Saba and No Name. Saba and No Name, both super lyrical people, both young. I feel like they're both relatable. The thing about Saba and No Name, I feel like their upside, their ceiling is, we just don't know. I feel like they're just gonna get better and better. That is a scary sight because they're already at such a high level. Maybe not in the public's eyes, but skill set wise, it's like I have all the tools and I have the backing. It's like I just need this situation to happen where it's my time now. Cordae's already arrived on the main stage. Dolla's already arrived. Boogie has already arrived. No Name and Saba have yet to arrive. And I feel like when they do, it's over. So those 2, I want to keep tied, but I can't do y'all like that. My top 3 underrated artists would have to be Saba, No Name, and I don't even know. Saba, No Name, Cordae, or Saba, No Name, and Boogie. I'm gonna just try to pick the number 1. I would say, I would have to say, goes to Saba. Saba has to be the most underrated because lyrically, he's like that. Relatability, he's like that. You might be saying, yo, Russ, he's lacking in versatility and, you know, he can't really do R&B, blah, blah, blah. But there's one thing y'all forget about when it comes to artists is like their uniqueness. I feel like an artist like Saba, there is no telling where he'll go. Like, he's not in a box. I feel like just what he's on will keep him in the music industry for a long time because he's like that. He's a young boy that's super talented, and I feel like that raw talent alone is gonna get him to wherever he wants to go, as well as No Name. I just have to choose somebody, and Apple just put out this what is it called? This little flashback on your year, and it shows you the most listened to artists and most listened to albums, and No Names was actually my most listened to. I'm gonna put it on the screen. So I love No Name, and I really want to keep them as a tie, but if the fans behind No Name don't push her to the level that she deserves to be at, she's never gonna get there alone. She can grind and grind and put in the work, but at a certain point, people have to start recognizing that. And until people start recognizing that and speaking up and saying, yo, this girl is doing it better than any of the dudes and girls are doing it out here, then it's gonna be the same story. It's just gonna be me and her other fans speaking up on her behalf. But the world needs to know that the queen is here, you know what I'm saying? And Saba's the prince. Like, you know, like, I'm telling you. Let's come back to this video in a few years when y'all like, yo, that Saba dude is nice. Like, yeah, bro, I've been telling you that. But as far as everybody else on there, that's my list of the most underrated artists of 2019. Everybody that's on this list is underrated in my opinion. I just wanted to break down who I think has the most upside, who I think is most versatile, who I think is most relatable, and then out of those people, who I think is the most underrated out of all those people that have the most potential to blow and to become, you know, as you want to say, mainstream. Even though some of these artists are mainstream, they've already been signed, you know, that's what I consider mainstream, but, you know, worldwide. So, yeah, man, that's all I really had for the vid. I know it's kind of long. I'll try to keep it brief, but with these videos, I really want to break down and just talk about each artist because I want y'all to know that I actually, you know, thought about each name and each person and wasn't just like, yo, I mess with such and such, so I'm gonna put him number one. Like I really mess with Ty, but he's not that relatable, bro. Like everybody's not just on like girls 24/7. You know what I'm saying? And like Daniel Cesar and Pink Sweats, y'all are hard, bro. R&B wise, like no one is really messing with y'all on this list like that. Like y'all got it, but it's talking about all around though. And this might change as time goes on, but as of right now, this is just my view at the artists that I was sent. So this isn't every artist in the world. These are just the ones that the subs, aka y'all, the subscribers and the homies. This is the people that y'all sent me, and these are the ones that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and thank you to everybody that that commented and sent me music, man. Y'all sent me like over 200 songs, like for real. I just appreciate the interaction. I'll try to do more videos where I like ask y'all for help on something or ask for y'all's input, and then I'll try to go based off that, try to like, you know, give y'all what y'all want. And yeah, I guess the last thing I wanted to say was, if y'all haven't already, Apple Music has like this feature where you can go and look at your most listened to albums and like most listened to songs, and it has like a playlist from mine. I think I joined Apple Music like in 2016. So it has 2016, 17, 18. So it has all those years, like the music that you were listening to back then, like your top songs or whatever. So yeah, I'm just glad that No Name was number one and Boogie was actually number 3. It's like, I've been listening to so many more artists, but you go back to what you love. The people that you really resonate with and connect with will be the ones that you play the most. If you're being true to yourself and not just playing some trash just to be like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen to, you know what I'm saying? Bro, play your music, play your own music, you know what I'm saying? Listen to what you want to listen to. But as for me, I'll be listening to these people on here and many more artists. I'm excited to see the new artists that come to us in 2020. But anyways, man, it's your boy Russ. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you're not already, please go hit that subscribe button to support me. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment, leave a like, everything. In the comment section, leave video ideas. Any video ideas y'all want, or y'all can DM me on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I have my IG in the description. And yeah, that's it. We'll continue to keep doing vids, bro, and just keep going. That's all I gotta say. It's Russ, and I'm out.